Hello everypony. Today I'm going to be showing you how to solve the Hexagon-1. I have spent I want to say the last month since I built it trying to figure out how to solve it. And here is that guide. So, sorry, I'm a little out of breath because I had to pick up and move my chair, which is like 50 pounds. Okay, so let's scramble this up. Okay, I've just made a bunch of random moves and I think that is sufficiently scrambled. So, step 1, cube shape. This is very similar to how you solve the regular square one. You are to try and get all of the edges next to one another, sort of like this. Wow, didn't know that was already so done. So this step should be mostly intuitive, and that's how it is when you're learning to solve the regular square one. There is not really a set way to do this. You just sort of move everything until they're next to each other. Sometimes you can get in a little bit tricky of situations, but with enough random moves, you can make it. I'm not doing anything crazy like square one where you learn every single cube shape, like Knight Yoshi or whatever. No, it's beginner's method. So you may notice that all of these edges on the top, you will always be too short. The other two edges will be in one of a few different configurations. Here are the others. Each of these has a different algorithm to get this back into cube shape. You don't have to learn all of them though. With enough more random movements, you can basically change the bottom into whichever other bottom shape you want. There is an ideal shape because there are two ways to get to it, so the algorithm applies for both. So in that case, you would only have to learn one algorithm, unless you wanted to go crazy and learn all of them. So I'm just gonna keep making random moves until I get better results. Here we go. This is an eye. There is a simple move to get this. This is the one I was talking about. This is the one that doubles as 2. If you move the eye to the front and have that edge on the front, you can then move the top such that that edge, you want to move 1 over such that the slice takes away the front edge, so that when you replace it with the new one, that the bottom edge moves to the top and you get 2 edges next to each other. Then the algorithm for solving this cube shape is as follows. That is the algorithm to solve cube shape for when 2 edges are next to each other. I will provide the other algorithms for all of the other cube shape states, just in case you wanted to learn all of them. I will also include ways to get from one state into the state where 2 edges are next to each other, just in case you didn't want to learn all of those different algorithms. Then, once you have cube shape, or I guess hexagonal shape, you want to try and orient all of the corners to be the same color. This is also pretty intuitive on the square one, and it solves mostly the same. And you can do it entirely intuitively. There's really no algorithm to do it unless you wanted to learn every single algorithm to do it, which is overkill. After the corners, you want to try and do the edges. So, the first thing you want to do is try and get 2 edges wrong. Doing this is also pretty intuitive. There is one move, this, which swaps these 2 and these 2 edges. That move is your best friend. If you are in any sort of weird situation where you have 3 or 5 or whatever, all you have to do is line it up such that one of the edges is swapped with 2 of the edges on the bottom. And you keep doing that until you have exactly 2 wrong. There's also one extra case. I wonder if I can get into it. Yes, there's one case where you have exactly 1 swapped, and this one is a little weird if you're not careful. So you want to have the wrong edge in the 2, vertical middle edge pieces, but you only want to have one of them in that location. So let's say for me, I will put the top wrong edge out the front, and on the bottom, I'll move it out of the way, like that. And then I do the algorithm, and you see the top has exactly 2, and the bottom has exactly 2. Now, we want there to be exactly 2, because when you do that algorithm, it swaps these 2 and these 2 pieces. So, if these 2 are wrong and these 2 are wrong, swapping them would make them both right. So, you want to now permutate the edges, swap the edges, such that you get into that double vertical line state. So, there's one algorithm that you need to know for this. It is the most basic square one algorithm ever. It swaps this corner with this corner, and this edge with this edge. And on the bottom as well, those 4. So, if you want to move edges around, you want to make sure that the one in the back and the one to the right of it are not wrong. So if I move it like this, if I swap these 2, these are both yellow. So swapping these won't change anything. So we need to move the bottom in such a way to get a vertical line. So if I do the algorithm, that'll swap these 2. So I want to move bottom one there, so I'll swap these 2. Here's the algorithm to swap those back 4 pieces. So you can see that these 2 swapped, but because they're both yellow, nothing changes. And on the bottom, these 2 swapped. So now we just want to do that again, such that these 2 swap, so we get that vertical line. And then, once you have 2 vertical lines, you want to arrange them both in the middle. Then you can do the simple swap algorithm, and now you have a solved top and bottom face. The next thing that you're going to want to do is to permute the corners such that they are in the right locations. You use the exact same algorithm to swap these 2 back corners, and this is also mostly intuitive. So yeah, I just solved the top corners in just a single version of that. Easy. So now we can swap the top and bottom layers to do the other way. When you're doing this, you want to make sure to not move the bottom layer when you're doing this algorithm, because it swaps the two on the bottom as well. So, if you don't move it, then they'll just keep swapping back and forth and eventually cancel each other out. Unless you want to try and do both at once, which is a more complicated way of doing it. You can if you wanted to. I mean, I can't stop you. Great, so now all of the corners are in their right spots. However, there is one edge case. If you have it so that all of your corners are correct, except for 2, there's an algorithm for that. To swap these 2 back corners without swapping the ones on the bottom, you want to do this algorithm. You want to do this algorithm, which is to turn the top and then do that algorithm and then do that 3 more times. So now you can see that these 2 have swapped, but the bottom remains intact. So remember, it's just simple. It's just turning once and then doing that, and then, swapping these 2, just doing that 4 times. And boom, you've got all your corners in the right place. The next thing is to move all of the edges into the right place. And there is one simple algorithm for this as well. To rotate the back 3 edges clockwise, here's what you do. You do the same algorithm. But this time, after you've done it once, you turn the top 1 and you do it again. And boom, you can see that the back 3 have rotated clockwise. This is also a very intuitive step, so let me just do that real quick. You can also do the algorithm the other way, where you start 1 turned, and that will rotate them counterclockwise. So here, it would be faster to rotate these counterclockwise, so let me do that. Yeah, there you go. So it looks like we have parity for the edges, where exactly 2 are in the wrong place. For now, I will ignore that and just continue to solving the bottom edges. Oh, looks like we have parity on the bottom as well, which actually isn't parity, because parity, if you have to do parity twice, you don't have parity. That's the one thing I know about square one. If you have to do parity twice, you don't technically have parity. So here, it looks like I would have to do parity twice, which means I don't technically have parity. But I never learned how to solve like this sort of double parity situation on the square one. And I don't really have a way to do that here either, other than just doing parity twice. But yes, the holy grail. I have a parity algorithm. This is what Cubes Made Easy doesn't. I mean, he sort of kinda had one, but I have an actual parity algorithm that swaps this edge and this edge. Oh, it's great. This is what I spent a month trying to do. It's long. I don't have the whole thing memorized, but it is mostly the same as parity on the square one. Like the first few moves are exactly the same. So I had to grab my sketchbook and write it down because I don't have it memorized. Ignore Fluttershy. So let's see if I can perform this. So it swaps this one and this one. So it starts the same as regular parity. And then it sort of diverges here, but is mostly the same. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 4. And then here's where the rest is that my computer solved for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 0. -3. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that swapped this edge and this edge, but it also messed up these two corners. But there's a simple algorithm to fix those corners. And since all it is just more swaps, you shouldn't have to redo the step of edge permutation. So we can just swap this again. And then here we have the thing where exactly two are swapped. So we just turn and then do the swap and then do that 4 times. So boom, there's your parity algorithm. It's not perfect, but it is a parity algorithm that works. So let me do it again to swap these two. And there you have it. You have your solved Hexagon-1. Wow, that is something. And whew. I will leave all of the algorithms that I found in the description. I will also leave the code to my algorithm finder. If you want to either look for your own or learn how I did it. A lot of thought went into it, so if you are a programmer, a look and maybe a nice comment would be very much appreciated. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this helps you, and I hope you can solve your puzzles now.